Hello again everyone, this is Natsu. In this video, I want to show you the kinds of things that I write in English when I journal. Since I'm Japanese, it's a lot easier for me to write in my native language. However, after I started journaling, I found there is something about writing in English too. It's got some challenges for sure, but that's what makes the activity a little bit more fun, and that's what I would love to share in this video today. I'm also going to talk about some tips that I have picked up while journaling, especially for those of you guys who are not familiar with writing in English yet. I'm also going to recommend some resources that inspired me. As you might already know, I love writing, especially journaling. That's one of my hobbies. I'm really excited to make this video, and I'm also excited and happy for you guys as well. Writing is fun. Writing is supposed to be fun. So I hope you can see it through this video. As always, if you have got any questions, comments, please let me know. I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. All right, let's get right into it. First off, I regularly write down affirmations in English. Back in the 80s, when Jim Carrey was still unknown, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and would tell himself each day, I'm a great actor and make $10 million. You know where he is at now, right? I think the story tells like what affirmation is all about. Basically, write in present tense, ideally, and repeat positive affirmative like statements to boost your confidence and self-worth. People often talk about this in terms of like magnet effect, like Hikiose no Hosoku in Japanese. What you say attracts like what you want kind of thing. It's more like a spiritual thing, isn't it? To be honest, let me be honest here, I don't want to call myself spiritual. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of like talking about spirituality in this kind of form of media. A lot of people misunderstand spirituality because of, thanks to dodgy, like shady business. It's not something like people tell you like what to do. Anyhow, in my opinion, that affirmation effect, I think it simply comes from the fact that we can become whoever we want to be. Personally, that understanding makes sense to me. This is the wisdom from modern applied psychology though. They often mention the danger of how we label ourselves. I'm shy, I can't do this, I'm not good at this, or something like that. But most of the labels are actually from things that we heard from other people. Sometimes using those labels can be our excuse. It might even feel reassuring to say like I'm shy because it explains like why we do not speak up. Sometimes I'm shy statements can justify like why we don't do something, right? It kind of resonates with the idea that, I don't know about you, but me and probably some of you guys love Kirawareru Yuki, one of the best books in the world. So basically you are the accumulation of the person that you decided to be. So we are deciding who we are in the end, in a negative way and a positive way too. So we really can become whoever we want to be, right? That's all in our hands, don't you think? So choosing who you want to be and then speaking to yourself with the vision that you have got, you can imagine how great, powerful it's gonna be. Think about it, like negative affirmations, negative statements, they didn't serve you in a good way, right? So why don't we change it now? I tell you, there are so many different affirmations out there. For example, if you are working, you could write, I'm capable of any task. I can finish any task with ease. I'm always treated well at work. I can express my creativity at work. If you're studying, you could write, I enjoy the process of learning. I'm proud of myself for learning every day. Because my job, two jobs, involve a lot of talking, I would write, I speak with integrity. Or like I use only loving, caring words. I recently found a short yet a beautiful phrase on a website. I love my dreams. I love my dreams. It's so sweet, isn't it? Honestly, it took me a bit to get used to this form of, I don't know, way of speaking or whatever you call it. Because let's be honest here, in Japanese, this way of talking, for example, you call yourself lovable, or like you call yourself smart, and sometimes it's taken as vanity or even like arrogance as well. And then I started thinking like, wait, who decided that we can't talk like this? Everything should be already good enough anyway, so we don't have to feel bad about those positive words. If you search online for daily affirmations or affirmations by Louise Hay is my biggest inspiration. You will find so many beautiful examples. The book written by Miranda Carr, this one, basically the later part of the book is all like a bunch of like beautiful affirmations. So what you can do is try copying the ones that you like, put them into your journal. They are usually in simple English, simple structures, which I always recommend and appreciate. You also see the grammar and sentence structures are the kind of English you can use daily. So by writing them down, you get familiar with the patterns. So good exercise for both of your mind and your English skills. I feel like they are only wins, so why don't you try it? Highly recommend it. Before we dive into the second recommendation, let's call this one recommendation 1.5. I've already mentioned this before in one of my videos, but I highly recommend collecting inspirational quotes. Personally, I don't limit myself to quotes from like celebrities or like famous philosophers. If I come across a phrase that resonates with me, I always put them into my journal. Let me have a look. That is another one. My legs. Just give me a sec. Yeah. The main goal of education should be to create mature adults who are confident in learning how to solve problems for themselves instead of repeating what other generations have done before them, by Jim Piaget. And also there is another one that I found in a book. It doesn't work in theory. It only works in practice. Okay, let's move on to number 2. One of the main things that I like to write in English is a list of my current fears. Funny enough, I think I can simplify my fears in English. I don't know, like no complications, only simplicity. This idea actually comes from the 21-Day Mirror Work by Louise Hay. I do recommend this book. Like, I really want you to try it. This book includes journaling exercises as a part of our daily routine of self-reflection, and one of the exercises is to write out all your fears. I found it super helpful. As I already mentioned before, I think a lot of people avoid facing their fears because it's not comfortable, but it's definitely crucial for our self-reflection. Think about it. Sometimes we work ourselves to the bone. Often the case, it's because of fear. Fear of losing our job, like fear of running out of money, or like fear of letting someone down. And the funny thing is, when it comes to work, you might think like, oh, I don't want to let down my boss. But in the deep part of your mind, there is still an image of your parents. Not all of you guys, but some of us, I think. And what I want to suggest here is writing out your fears in English. Starting your sentences with something like, I'm scared of not having enough money in the future. I'm worried that I might get stuck in this dead-end job. After you finish, I want you to have a look at them and just see your fears are actually your imagination. They're all the ideas that you came up with for no reason. So as Mirror Work suggests, once you see your fears, imagine you are letting go of them and turning them into positive affirmation. I'm worried about my future career. You could change it to, I deserve a good workplace. I'm grateful for the job that I have got. Basically, you rewrite it in the present tense as if it's already true. For some reason, writing my fears in English helps me be honest with myself, probably because I can reflect on myself from a different perspective. I can stop myself from being like too emotional. I mean, it's okay to be emotional, but sometimes you need a bit of like a rational part of your brain. Anyhow, I do this every now and then when I feel stuck, or even like when I feel I don't know, bored. It's good to reflect on myself. So yeah, why don't you give it a go too? Okay, number 3. It's actually a secret bomb for English skills. Now, you might expect me to say like, oh, I love writing my diary in English. I like to write my diary in Japanese for some reason. I can't explain why. I don't know why, but I enjoy it more. Anyway, the third thing I do love writing in English is my to-do list and 3-word check-in. It's the perfect practice for sussing out how I say this tiny everyday task in English. That's really useful vocabulary. For example, if you want to write 何々さんに連絡, let's say 黒田さんに連絡, how could you write in English? You could say contact. Contact is more like direct translation. But in English, you could also go like email 黒田さん, or like call 黒田さん, or like message 黒田さん. Actually, all of them are correct. The key here is to write down the action, the person, and the task in a simple form. A simple form, that's the key. Okay, how about 確定申告? Just pay tax. If you've got something you have to do online, you could say online application, online registration, online transaction. And another small tip is starting with a verb. Like it makes it feel more natural in English. Reply to emails and make it as simple as possible. Buy groceries. Prepare for meeting. You don't need to put a and the stuff that you don't really see in the textbooks, but actually are in need day to day. The second one that I want to recommend is 3-word check-in, which we do at work. So in our morning meeting, in the morning huddle, we check each other like how we are doing. So basically what you have to do is like explaining how you're feeling or like how you're doing. Ready? Excited, grateful, what else? Like rejuvenated, caffeinated. It's really simple. Like you can explain how you're feeling or even like how your day was only in 3 words. Okay, number 4. I was gonna say just write down things that you're grateful for. It's definitely good for your mental health, so I want to recommend it, but I wanted to come up with like something different for this video. Instead, I wanted to share something similar, yet a little different. That brings us to my 4th recommendation. That is a list of positive words. This is something like I randomly came up with, and I do it every now and then. The idea is simple. You write down any positive, lovely, uplifting words on your journal. In my case, I sometimes mix in Japanese, but I mainly do it in English. I think there is something meaningful about like actively looking out and reflecting on words that kind of motivate you, right? Even though it doesn't really serve you in a particular way. For example, writing down your tasks, it's good for your productivity, and write down your dreams. They help you to achieve your goals or something like that. Writing down positive words, it doesn't do much like instantly, but I think this practice is simply fun. I really enjoy it and makes my day too. It gives you a pure sense of joy and helps set a positive foundation of the day. So try searching for bright and positive words and just put them in your journal, and you will start seeing a shift in how you feel. Okay, final tip for English journaling. From my experience, I've got some pieces of advice for you guys. First of all, keep it simple. I want you to reflect on the time that you started writing in school. You used to make so many spelling mistakes and you didn't get the concept of we have to leave a space on the very first of the new chapter. And then our teacher gave us feedback. We fixed it, revising it, and tried to be better. Remember, we made so many mistakes in writing, but do you regret it now? I do not think so. We become a bit arrogant because we are grown-ups. We kind of assume that we can do everything perfectly. Our biggest egos come in, but I think we can stay humble. We can keep learning new things. So we are supposed to stay open for new opportunities and new things to learn, right? And as I mentioned before, you can always come back to grammar and vocabulary. Some studies suggest like revising it afterwards can be more effective. And actually, I feel it to be easy on ourselves and enjoy the process. I think if you have that mindset, you can keep learning and you can enjoy writing too. That's my journaling journey. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by clicking the like button. If you've got any questions, comments, please let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, I see you in the next video soon.